2024 retirement account updates. We're not going to spend too much time on this. This isn't really the focus. Just want to point out some new rules. Retirement account, there was a Secure Act that was passed January 1st, 2024. The RMD, the required minimum distribution, the age at which you have to start withdrawing money from your retirement accounts is going up from 72 to 73. That's good. It means you have a little more flexibility. And in 2033, unless there's a change before then, you won't have to start taking it out till you're 75. So it gives, again, more flexibility because you get penalized if you don't take money out of your retirement account when you need to. So this is giving more flexibility. I'm just pointing out, as Mike mentioned before, we're forming some partnerships with select financial advisors to think about all these issues in a comprehensive way, to be aware of these retirement account issues, to be aware of long-term care planning issues, to be aware of estate tax issues. Some other changes, 529 plans. And January 1st, 2024, assets remaining in a 529 plan you might have set up for a child, you're not using it for college, can be rolled into Roth IRAs. That's capped at $35,000, and there's some other limits. Again, not going to spend much time on that, but there are some changing rules and some more flexibility with retirement accounts and when you have to start withdrawing money, and also what you can do with 529 plans and putting them into retirement accounts. By the way, we are big fans of Roth IRAs. If you can do those, do Roth IRAs. Just pointing out there are some changes there as well. 2024 California property tax updates. Prop 19 and what you can or what you must do, protect your property if this is a concern. And if you see our YouTube channel, many of you subscribe probably based on our videos on Prop 19. I think we were first out of the gate. I think we have become one of, if not the top Prop 19 planning resource in the state of California. We're proud of that. We want you to understand the law. No matter what you think about it, you need to understand the new rules in California, whether you're for them or against them. Let's be sure we all understand them, and most importantly, understand the implications for our families. So Mike, why don't you take us through the essence of Prop 19 and what it means and what it changed, what the rules were before and where they are right now.
So this is not really a change as of January 1, 2024, but it's a current change. I mean, it's just really about a year old and hardly anybody knows about it. Our viewers, if you follow us, you do know about it, but you can't hear it too often. Prop 19, which I'll summarize in just a moment, the impact on you and your family is greater as the value of your real property goes up. And we believe, for a combination of reasons, that the value of our homes and our rentals, vacation homes, that they're going to continue to go up. So the impact of Prop 19, the harmful impact, is exacerbated as our property values go up, perhaps ironically. Okay, so what does it mean? We harken back to Prop 13, which we all love, I guess, which says that
homeowners love it.
In the 70s, that property taxes are rolled way back, and it was meant to avoid the loss of property within the family. It said, in effect, that property taxes should be very low. Then came Prop 58, and it said two powerful things. First, it said that you could pass along your residence to your kids, no property tax increase, whether you live in it or not. And it said each of us could pass along another $1 million in assessed real property value to the kids without a property tax increase. So you could have had a $3 million vacation home assessed at $400,000, and that would have passed along without a property tax increase. Prop 19 eliminates all of that. It just undoes Prop 58, and it erodes the sort of the ethos of Prop 13. It says, first, let's look at your residence. If you want your residence to stay in the family, and if it's significantly valuable, if you pass it along to your kids and none of your kids live in the house, there's a 100% reassessment. So simple example, the house is worth $3 million. Property taxes are now $8,000.
Which I have to point out, $3 million is a massive number. But in so many parts of California, that's not necessarily a big house. I mean, it blows my mind. And it's terrifying for people who have to try and get into the housing market. But just this, I know we're using big numbers, but in coastal California, again, San Diego, Los Angeles, Orange County, the Bay Area, Marin, in many places, that's like a standard normal family home. So I just have to make that point because I know these numbers are big, but sorry, keep going, Mike.
Well, you know, in the Bay Area, I think we are immune to the thought that that's an outrageously high number, even though I agree with you, it is. Yeah. Hey, my hometown, $3 million, you could buy the town. Yeah. You could buy the town, let alone some nice houses. So you know, we are California specific, and you know, it's our reality. Okay. So with the residence, again, if your child, in my simple example, if the child wants to keep the house, but they're not going to live in it, property taxes are going to go up to maybe $33,000, $35,000 a year from 10 or 8, whatever they may be today.
Whatever they were
and
before,
if the property value goes up to 3.5 by the time of your passing, the taxes will be $38,000 to $40,000 a year. If a child makes your residence his or her residence, then there's a break, but it's not complete protection. The first $1 million in reassessed value is forgiven. Harken back to my simple example, $3 million house. If the first $1 million is forgiven because the child lives in it, the new assessed value, it'll be $2 million. So the property taxes will still more than double in that example. They'll go to $22,000 to $24,000 a year. What if it's not their residence, a vacation home, a rental? No protection whatsoever, complete reassessment. A client we're working with recently, they have a nice cabin in Tahoe that they kind of view it as their second home. They want it to stay in the family. I mean, who doesn't? But it is worth well over $3 million. And their property taxes right now are like butkus. They bought it so long ago. It's like under $5,000 a year. The family is comfortable. They're not mega wealthy. The kids are fine, but they're not wealthy. And absorbing that $30,000 a year property tax increase, it probably means that they'd lose the house. They just wouldn't maintain it over time. We're fixing it. We are taking steps to lock in that level of property tax. But let's not have any illusion here. This threatens the ability of families to keep property in the family. And increasingly around here, we understand how important that can be. We have particular concern about special needs families because so many this is a major area of our practice. So many have a kid who has difficulty getting by, living comfortably, can't work. Your residence is the only home that person has ever known. And it's critically important to keep the home in the family for that child. Well, no exceptions. Maybe there'll be the $1 million forgiveness of property tax reassessment, but that's all. So the worry for so many folks who really don't have a fortune, how are they going to maintain paying the ongoing property taxes unless they put a ton of money into that special needs trust as well. So it threatens your ability to keep your residence or a second property in the family for the benefit of a special needs child or a child who just doesn't have a lot of money. We do have solutions. We have successfully locked in the current level of property tax for many clients. It can be done. So it's scary as time moves on, as the value of your property increases, exposure to this property tax problem gets worse and worse and worse. So you have to be aware. You have to take steps. You shouldn't wait. It could be too late on many levels. So again, here's one of those things where don't put your head in the sand and let's see some real numbers.
Yeah. So again, if you watch some of our webinars, you'll see this. But here's an example kind of similar to what Mike talked about. Maybe it's a $3.3 million property that the child moves into, right? So you have a house. It's a single family home, not that big in the peninsula of the Bay Area or in San Diego or whatever. And let's say your child moves in there and they're going to live there. And you have an assessed value of $300,000. That means you're paying around $3,300, $3,500 a year. You've had it for a long time in property taxes. Your child moves in, it goes to your child. Property taxes would go up by over $22,000 per year if we don't plan. Over time, what does that mean? So I circled over 10 years, it's over $240,000. Over 30 years, if your child holds on to that house for the rest of their life, that's almost $900,000 in extra taxes paid to the state of California. Property taxes are largely not tax deductible against income taxes. So your child would have to earn like $1.5 million or so to pay those extra taxes. It's mind-boggling. If they don't live in the house, add another 50% to those numbers. So the numbers are staggering. You could argue that Prop 19 was, for property owners at least, the biggest tax increase in California history. As Mike said, we have solutions, and you have to be aware it's not just property taxes. We have to be aware of estate tax issues. We have to be aware of capital gains tax issues. We've had some clients come in and say, hey, I talked to this other person, and they said I could do it so easily. I just do X, Y, and Z, and it'll be fine. And they barely charge anything. And we look at what they were proposed, and many of those techniques don't work at all, or two, they're missing another huge tax issue. So you have to be aware of all of this. If you want to understand Prop 19 more, you can see the video that we posted, Prop 19 Explain, the end of Prop 13 and what it means for Californians. As of this video of this presentation, we have over 140,000 views for that. But the most important thing is we have developed amazing solutions. Francis Lepole, our property tax and tax guru, has developed extraordinary solutions. So we have the Gilfix and Lepole Dynasty LLC process. Talk to us if you're worried about this. Don't put your head in the sand. So we can help you. Contact us at gilfix.com. We've had a lot of people ask, well, what if it gets overturned? I know this is really unpopular, right? Like we know there's efforts to get a repeal on the ballot, but let's keep in mind, the people we're talking to are living in the most expensive parts of California. We live in a bubble. And if you're watching this and it's an issue for you, It's a good problem to have. And we gave that example that Mike kind of talked about of someone with a house that was worth 3 million and property taxes were going to skyrocket and they have to sell the house. And some of the reactions to the video on YouTube were like, well, boo-hoo, you have to sell a $3 million house. You still get the proceeds of it. And that's true. And I think the point being that we can't just think that our echo chamber, our bubble, is representative of the entire state. So don't rely on California voters to bail you out. I have a lot of friends who think that Prop 19 is totally fair. If you don't already own property in California, you're like, why should multi-generational property owners get lower taxes? But we also know the flip side. A lot of people are going to be forced out of the state based on these massive property tax increases. So control what you can control. There's so much we can do to protect your property if we plan ahead. We've already helped so many families in California. Prop 19, big problem. We have solutions. Contact us if you have questions.
I want to change one thing you just said. You said, Mark, contact us if you have questions. I would put it differently.
Right.
I say contact us so we can take care of this for you. It's going to save your family hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I think we skip a couple more questions and we take care of these things.
If you want to work with us, we'd invite you to join our client community. If you're an existing client, come meet with us. Very easy to find us. We're Gilfix and LaPole, gilfix.com. You can contact us at 650-493-8070. We can, of course, review your existing plan, whether you worked with us previously or not. If you have questions, leave them as comments on YouTube. We'll get to some of those. We'll respond to those. We try to get back to most YouTube questions or comments. Make sure, regardless, though, that you have an expert team of advisors. If you have any assets, you need a great financial advisor who can help you think about these tax, a good accountant and a great estate planning team. We're building these networks. We would love to be a part of it. But either way, make sure you have it. Don't leave it just to the 1/10 of 1% to have those teams. We all can do it. Let's control what we can control in these very uncertain times. As my mom likes to say, I hope everybody's staying safe, sane, and healthy.